Okay, hi. All right, so it's basically 2 a.m. here. Technically Monday, October 6th, I believe. And I just wanted to record a vlog about the inspiration behind my album title, Nectalux, and the elements that went into the cover art. And I just wanted to reflect on such a beautiful, full day and experience in getting this all done, and just the vision that I had that really finally had a chance to be birthed and to come into fruition, that I feel has just transformed and shifted a lot since even beginning the inspiration behind writing these songs. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the album cover art and the exciting shoot in the woods with the waterfall and a little bit of tea on that. So I did go into a little bit of detail about the roses and the significance of these flowers and the color meanings for me, how it represents my grandmother and the woman who raised me, and just wanting a piece of her with me while I'm shooting this. And this entire project was a labor of collective love, and just so many people that offered me their time, their skills, their expertise, and space, resources to be able to finish this project. And I'm just very grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that finally the world is getting a chance to hear a taste of Jen and the music and the writing and production that I have to share and my message. And I feel like this has been a really long time coming, and just something that's needed to be happening for a long time now. Let's put it that way. There's just been a lot that has happened in my life, and lots of sort of setbacks that I feel, if anything, has given me even more inspiration to just write and to shed light on what my life has been like, really, and hopes that people can relate to overcoming lots of unforeseen adversity. Let's put it that way. And so I wanted to go a little bit into the title, like why I chose this title, what it means, and the elements that I chose to go in with the visuals, and kind of how this all ties in. I feel like I grew up in a time where I loved opening the CD jackets and the vinyl jackets and getting a chance to understand that artist a little bit deeper and read the lyrics and feel the story behind the song through the words and how the words told this story. For me as a songwriter and as a poet, I intend to relay a deeper message through all my songs, through anything I'm writing. And I feel like I really want that to be conveyed. And in that same vein, I chose a similar approach for my title of my album. And it's funny, like choosing an album title, sometimes it's like your song title comes to you so easily. But then coming up with a title that like encompasses all of those songs that sometimes are very different and just like their own unique pattern, their unique energy, their unique sound, is a little challenging. And I'm not gonna lie, I have notebooks full of titles and inspirations and things that have come to me over the years, but once these songs came out of me and I wanted to release them in this way, I had so many different ideas. I'm not going to lie. However, I really feel like this one kind of explains a lot without explaining too much, and kind of just giving a glimpse into like more to come in a way as well. We had to get a little flavor out for the world to hear. So Nectalux, okay? What does this mean? Where did this come from? What is the inspiration behind this? Okay. I am very into the etymology of words when I'm learning new vocabulary, incorporating vocabulary into my writing. When I just read a book, and I'm very interested in knowing where this word came from, especially if it just feels like new to me. I want to learn more about it. Now, the word nectar this drink or this potion, the God's drink, right? Though it definitely means that, once I learned the deeper meaning behind the root of this word and where it came from, it was fascinating to me, and it actually spoke a lot to my experience, and actually several experiences in life that I feel I could tie into this same meaning. And the word nectar comes from neck, N-E-K, and then tar, T-A-R. And these two patterns together, these two word patterns together mean N-E-K, darkness, like death, like the words like necropsy or necrotic, meaning dead. And then tar, T-A-R, means overcoming. And so tar means overcoming. And it's so funny, like that saying, when someone comes to your neck, or like, watch your neck, because this is your portal to spirit, to your higher self, to your ancestral realms, to your bloodlines that have come before you, to God the Almighty, the Creator, to all. Okay, nectar. The nectar of life, the nectar that we channel, that cleanses our body, that cleanses our spiritual centers, our energy centers, and help us to feel whole and complete. And tar, meaning like to overcome that death. I feel life is like this constant cycle of death and rebirth, death and rebirth, death and rebirth. And we're reminded of this daily. And especially in this climate we're in, it feels there's so much tension in our personal affairs, our national affairs, our global affairs. It just feels never ending sometimes. Like the human experience feels never ending sometimes. And overcoming that death, overcoming this death of being, this way of life, I resonate with, because I feel I've recreated myself many times, and I feel I've had to do this out of a sense of duty to myself. And this came at some really challenging turning points in my life that sometimes I felt made no sense, or like I really struggled my way through, or not knowing how to ask for help, or making mistakes and being surrounded by wrong people, and navigating on a path that wasn't quite my highest expression. I feel I've been down that road quite a few times, and I feel I can, in that way, relate to, hear, and listen to the experiences that are human. We're here to mess up. We're here to get it right. We're here to rebirth ourselves again. And so Nectalux, I actually was looking up the etymology of luxury, because luxury is a very Capricornian element to life that they like to label us in. I'm a Capricorn sun and have a stellium in Capricorn. I feel like luxury is life. Like being able to breathe each day and wake up each day is the gift. It is the luxury of being alive. Okay? And so stay with me here. The etymology of luxury, like lux, L-U-X, the derivative of that is light. And so to me, Nectalux is overcoming this death, overcoming an old way of self, an old way of thinking, an old way of being, something that's outdated, something that is no longer resonating, and stepping fully into the light, and allowing life to flow through you. Unapologetically so, and just allowing the blessing of life to flow over you. And it feels very personal in a way, my connection to the divine, and ways in which I feel I've had to make up for time lost, or get things right. When really there's so many ways to do that and to figure that out. None of it's wrong because it's still leading you on your path. I think sometimes we'll just know if we're off path, or sometimes we'll feel so much resistance against where you're really meant to be, really meant to be seen, really meant to go and lead. And there can be a lot of pressure surrounding that and what that's supposed to look like for people and when and how. And for me, it's just allowing it to flow now. And I originally intended for this music to be released in the summertime, and doing everything independently, it's been fun. It's been so creatively eye-opening, very inspiring, getting to produce and direct and do all of these amazing things visually that I've had in my mind's eye that now I get to bring to life. And as I'm saying this, I'm looking at a wardrobe for some of these music videos. But yeah, I wasn't done with just those lyric videos, okay? I wanted to really take this to the next step. Getting to tap into that side of my creativity has been a gift through this entire process. And so I also chose this name because it is a nod to summer and the fruit nectarine. Nectarines are one of my favorite summer fruits. They are just nice and tangy, but sweet. Peaches, I feel, obviously they're very similar, and peaches are amazing, and I love peaches too, but I feel like nectarines are just, the color is so rich and beautiful. I love just the way they smell too, when they're like ripe and you're going to cut them open. I enjoy eating them, like cutting them into pieces. And they're just divine. I love the way they taste. I think they're delicious. And so there's nectarines that are kind of just like strewn all out on this beautiful fabric that I layered and pieced together, that I couldn't really find a specific image that exactly captured what I saw in my head, which was all those different layered fabrics, but hanging off a chair. So it almost gave this feeling of, if you ever come home and you're just like, like toss what you're wearing onto your chair, you have to put things away and it's just laying there kind of. I wanted it to feel homey, but I wanted it to feel very like true and pure. So I knew it needed to be in a natural setting. For the longest, I was going back and forth with a studio shoot. I was almost thinking of a more boudoir setting. I was trying to find a whole couch, okay, a whole vintage couch that I wanted. I even was scouting places to just shoot at that had this beautiful vintage couch that I had in mind, okay? And I was going to create an entire set. And that was with a whole other different title that I had in mind. Now, I feel this project is so versatile musically, which I feel I am. I feel I'm a very versatile singer, songwriter, and musician. And I wanted to be able to highlight a taste of what I love singing and what inspires me and sounds that really feel good to me. This project, I feel, encapsulates that. I wanted to keep going. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to release a few more, but honestly, everything, the planning, the timing of life, balancing my business and this, it's been a year. And it's interesting because these songs I recorded back in the winter. And yeah, the summer trajectory of releasing everything, let's just say it didn't really go as planned. And that was a disappointment I had to sit with, which was also overcoming that depth of an expectation, wanting to release by a certain date. And so I just chose to release them. So I am very excited for everybody to listen to and to experience the entire project. Back to the title. I know my project is very unique, and I wanted the title to reflect that uniqueness, and I didn't want it to be a title or words that were used before. And so I did some extensive research and could not find this combination anywhere. And so I decided to just go for it, because once I understood the etymology behind nectar and like nectarine, playing around with the words, like there was a reason why I channeled that word and the fruit, and I needed to bring this to life. So Nectalux also nods to my ode to summer and nectarines, which are one of my favorite fruit. So interesting too, because for the album cover art, scouting this place, I knew it needed to be somewhere new that I haven't had a chance to explore yet. Like every place has its own energy, and I know everywhere I go is special, but I knew it had to be somewhere that I hadn't had a chance to experience. And I also wanted a fresh body of water. And I talked a little bit about the inspiration behind the pose and the elements I wanted to use in order to bring forth this energy from the tarot card Temperance. How that was an image that was really sitting at the forefront of my mind's eye. And I knew I had to make it unique without recreating this exactly as is and making it my own, while also embodying the visuals of nectarines, Nectalux, okay? And it's funny how some of the best shots happened after sunset, just like coming out of the darkness. I used one dark fabric, which was a black lace fabric. Everything else was gold, peach, white lace, intentionally. And I was sitting in a dark chair and I wore all black, intentionally wearing sparkles that resemble starlight or the unseen, and intentionally having this body of water behind me, intentionally choosing a waterfall, which was how I knew I wanted the fabric to look, kind of like an extension of the waterfall. And I wanted to be situated between the fabric, the waterfall, and using the chair, almost giving like the high priestess energy with the two pillars, using the candles on each side. And actually, I didn't know I wanted two candles at first. I thought it was just going to be a single candle, but having the two candles created some balance, and I just think everything came out beautifully. A Nectalux album art. I think that also just goes to say the intention and dedication and love I poured into all of this and the meaning behind everything. Meditated on this, and that's also why I didn't want to release everything right away. I was very tempted to just title this after the single that I'm going to pitch, the playlists and whatnot, because it's also very poignant as a title in itself, and so it would work as the EP title, but I wanted to do something different, and I wanted it to feel like its own creation and like a body outside of the songs. And so Nectalux has been born. It's been just amazing, like meeting all of these different people, where I got my beautiful clothing from, to my accessories, amazing friends, designer stylists who lent me so many beautiful accessories, so many beautiful pieces of clothing, scouting my own looks, shopping for my own looks, being very intentional about what I'm going to be wearing and what the meaning behind these colors, the different fabrics, patterns, cuts, and designs. It's been a nonstop summer. It's been a really nonstop summer. I know it's probably seemed quiet. And, you know, I've had a really hard time with the digital stuff. TikTok, I was like, I feel like I need to start a TikTok, and I feel like I need to share my music on there, because my music is on TikTok. And I have not been able to claim an artist account. Been having a hard time with that. I've submitted 3 or 4 times just screenshots and proof. I'm not sure what else TikTok needs, but if anyone knows anything about that, that'd be really helpful. I think I've since sent them like a complaint in a way, letting them know that like my account is not really up to speed. But that's why I haven't posted anything on that account, because I just wanted things to be in line, you know, and to be lined up. I think there's a part of me that is also dying through this project, where I have to kind of wait for everything to be so like put together in order for it to be released or seen or felt. And so I'm very grateful that I got so much support and feedback from Instagram and highlighting the inspiration behind the cover art for my 2 singles. So that felt really good. Oh, I'm just so tired talking to this camera. I'm not gonna lie, I'm be really transparent and like, oh my god, y'all, my lip liner. She looking crazy. It just looks like very like 90s mod, okay? Very 90s mod. It's giving. I didn't have time to blend it. Of course, like 2 days before the shoot, I started to get some pimples. And I rocked with it, you know? Like, what can you do? You have to just keep going. That's a bit about Nectalux. With this video, it's like 20 minutes right now. Eyes are heavy. I also, shout out to me, okay, because I love doing makeup. I am really good at it, and I learned how to face paint when I was very young. My grandmother was a painter and a visual artist, which she passed down to me. Thank goodness. I love painting, and I'm fortunate to have been featured in art shows and galleries. More on that, okay? More of my art is coming too. And I've always loved makeup, but it's funny because I'm a pretty natural girl. Like, I don't wake up and do makeup every day. However, for a special occasion or for like a photo shoot, I love performances. I just love doing my makeup, and I just really think makeup is meant to accentuate your natural features and beauty. And I really think like there's something very good about knowing how to do it yourself, because it's an art form. Bring to life how you want to look and how you want to be perceived. Okay, here, yeah, she's getting longer. We're letting her grow. How you want your hair, I was gonna say hair. How you want your hair, how you want your makeup to look, I feel like it feels so good once it's done. So I did all my makeup myself. I have lots of inspiration. Okay, we do the Sophia Loren cat eye effects. Okay, you can see the little whites there. Yes, but actually that's a champagne gold. There's some rose gold under my eyes. I should have done something earlier, like in the light, but I did take some photos close up of my makeup. Honestly, this makeup's been holding up pretty good. I was sweating a lot when I was setting up, oh, excuse me, the set for the shoot itself. I did all of the fabric, the nectarines, the flowers, the candles, the chair, the positioning of it, going back and forth, up and down on the rocks. I'm tired. So I did sweat a bit, and I didn't retouch my eye makeup at all. This is a little creasy, but listen, she held up beautifully. Okay, cat eye. The lips, however, listen, I don't really care. I don't really care, because I feel like, you know, it's a testament to just where she was earlier. All right, she was in full face earlier, but I decided I wanted to come on here and film a little bit while my makeup and some of my jewelry was still on before I take it off. Okay, shout out to Bloodlights NYC for this gorgeous pair of vintage earrings. I'm absolutely obsessed with these, which perfectly match this vintage choker. Okay, I got this choker from an Etsy seller. I got a lot of beautiful vintage pieces that you'll be seeing in my music video. Just so grateful to have found, and I think I will be ordering more from in the future. Decided to keep it very minimalistic since my shirt was very busy and very bedazzled and gorgeous. And just shout out to Rayanne's Retro Ray in Socrates, okay? She really hooked it up for my shopping experience, and I got so many amazing pieces from her. And I know that each piece had a story that she cared about, and she took the time to find for me. I just feel lucky to have found a shop like that and someone who's been in the game for so long. Look at this. Okay, there's some candles over there, so let's stay in this candle light. Beautiful. So I'm grateful for Rayanne. Everything I wore, minus the gloves and the earrings, was from Retro Ray. And I just love that store, and I love everything I've gotten from her. So shout out to Rayanne. Also, shout out to gel nail polish, because this is like a new experience I've been getting into, is gel pedicures. It started with gel pedicures, but I got a gel manicure, and listen, it's giving. I like this color. It's terracotta. There's lots more I want to share, and there's lots more behind each song and the overall feel of these songs together as a collective, and just what I've been through as a woman and my experiences growing up and as a young lady. And yeah, it's been a time, okay? It's been a time, y'all. Ooh, it's time to lighten up and rest so that I have time and space and energy to edit these photos tomorrow, find the best one, and submit to my distributor my album finally, so I can release my first official on all streaming platforms. I've been releasing music for a few years now, okay? And I've been performing my whole life, having a background in the performing arts. But to put it out there on these streaming platforms, which I want things to be different with the streaming platforms in terms of just artists gaining more from each play. It just feels like we kind of went backwards, and I miss analog, and I miss holding an item and pressing play, and even the iPods were cool. I feel like everything past that has really been just like very subscription based, very corporate heavy, and the artists are not earning what they should streaming wise. I know that this will all be worth fighting for. Until then, friends, gotta go wash up, take off this makeup, and go cuddle with my animals. Tomorrow's a new day. Well, it's technically today. It's tomorrow. It's technically tomorrow right now. Like, it's technically Monday, but it's just felt good to shoot on a Sunday. Okay. So, Leo. Oh. But yeah, just want to thank everyone for listening to my music, for being patient with me. Really cool, just like making a vlog, getting to share a little bit about my inspiration, the meaning behind this album, and just shedding a little light on what inspires me and how I came to these many details and layers and aesthetics. And I'm just very excited because I just know that there's so much more coming for you all. And for me, this is my dream, is to just be able to share musically and to help people feel and emote that parts of their lives that feel like they need to be seen and they need to be felt and they don't have an outlet for, and music is the only language and cure. And it has always been for me, and it has always been a tremendous support, a tremendous guiding light in times that have felt so dark for me, or in times that have felt so uncertain. I always leaned on my love for and my talent in music, and I don't take that for granted. And I know every artist's path is different, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm in divine time on my mission and on my journey, and Nectalux is about to be coming out, and I'm excited for everyone to hear. I'm excited for everyone to be part of this next chapter of my life. So I thank you all. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, to support, to stream. Yeah, I feel like that's enough for tonight. I just ask that you continue to please support and to share my songs, my message, my music, if you feel called and if you feel connected. It would greatly help me so that I can continue to create. Jen, you need rest. So I'm gonna go. My ancestors' candle went out, so I'm like, if they're sleeping, I need to go to bed. So I just want to stand here and thank you all and to send some love to you. I'm very excited for this project to be released. Get ready for Nectalux.